CTE Pro 1 Banking Series, Video 6. What the pros are doing. During this past week, I spent a lot of time online viewing matches from the Derby City Classic. Without exception, every match that I viewed, the player or players that I watched were engaged in Pro 1 visual sweeps. In other words, they weren't moving straight into their shot lines. The players would exhibit two very defined sweeping motions, visual and physical, that I can observe. You can observe this too. It only takes just a little bit of an awareness of what's going on. I could bring any four professional players from the Derby City Classic to my private studio, and I could show clearly that they're all doing the same thing for the two shots that I'm going to demonstrate. So this cue ball object ball relationship here is set up not as a dead bank to this pocket. There's a little bit of a left cut. Now, should a professional player be in my presence, I could observe this professional player setting up to this shot and doing a left rotation into this cue ball object ball relationship to bank it cross corner. It would look something like this. So you're going to see a rotation here. Now, if the same professional player or group of players that I could bring in to demonstrate this shot, if they were to execute a two-rail bank, this left rotation would not be observable. It would be a bending motion, something like this, or to be precise, exactly like this. So they would set the shot up like this, or set themselves up for addressing the cue ball object ball relationship visually and physically in this manner. So you're not going to see this left rotation. It's going to be more of a bending motion. Every player at the Derby City Classic that wears the badge of a professional player can be observed sweeping into their shots. They're not moving directly into their shot lines. So when I put this ball up like this, they're not shooting their one rail bank by picking out a contact point on this ball and then moving into that contact point. And then when they shoot a two rail bank, they're picking out another contact point and moving into that shot line. Well, some can actually fool themselves into thinking that's what they're doing, but that's not what's happening. There are common perceptions that occur around the table when pocketing balls on this 2x1 surface. So when a player is shooting, my heater kicked on. I don't want that noise coming into the camera. So, excuse me for that. So for this one rail bank, there's a left visual sweep that is occurring. The solution to the shot is actually just line up from left edge to A and center to SP15. The professional player doesn't even have to know that, but with CTE knowledge, you have that data, you have that information. So in order to make this shot, this left shoulder comes around for the one rail bank. For the two rail bank, the left shoulder does not come around. I'm still aimed up left cue ball edge to A for this 15. This is a 15 outside. There's a bending motion. So what's happening here is the perception for the one rail bank and the perception for the two rail bank, that's a constant. You have the same visual cue ball, object ball relationship. You're seeing it in the same way. So something has to give. What is it that's occurring that allows a player to use the same perception but to have two different outcomes? When shooting the cross corner bank and the player comes in this way, he's aligning his tip to center based on this edge of the cue ball. When the player is doing the two rail bank, like this, he's aligning his tip to center based on the outside edge of the cue ball. So you're getting two completely different results. So after spending a lot of time over this past week viewing the players at Derby doing left and right visual sweeps, I thought this would be a good opportunity to further the education of what it is that's happening at the professional level. So you can mimic a shot like this, and you'll soon see what I'm talking about. If you're a professional player, you can mimic this, and you're going to see that your move is going to be like this for one shot, and it's going to be like this for another shot. So I'm going to do this straight into the camera. So I'm going to set this up as a straight in shot. We know that on a straight in shot you can use the right edge or you can use the left edge. So if I'm going to use the left edge for this straight in, I'm going to have this rotation here. If I'm going to use the, back that up. If I'm going to use the left edge to here, there is no rotation from here. It's like this. If I'm going to use the right edge, then you're going to have this rotation. So left edge is going to be this rotation. Right edge is going to be this rotation. So hopefully this will further your education a bit on what it is that the pros are actually doing, but more often than not, cannot explain. Thank you very much.